Hello everyone, it's the Metal Geek. How y'all doing? So, for anybody who knows me, people know that I love movies. People know that I love TV. And people know that I love horror movies. Horror movies. Come on guys, we've all seen them, we've all loved them, and we have definitely all asked ourselves, how do they do those effects? Now, when it comes to horror, we all know that there's probably going to feature a lot of blood and a lot of gore. And even if it doesn't, it's going to feature some. Whether it's played up for a serious moment, for an out-of-this-world gory scene, or just to play it up for laughs. And while I may not be Tom Savini or Greg Nicotero, there is one thing I could show you how to do, and that is how to make fake, gory, Hollywood-style blood. Today, we are going to be discussing two different ways to make realistic-looking fake blood. Method 1 will be using red food coloring, blue food coloring, and strawberry milk mix. We'll also be using baking powder to thicken the consistency of the blood, which we'll talk about throughout this tutorial. And of course, we're going to need something to mix it in and something to mix with. Now guys, you can use a blender instead of a spoon. I'm just making a small batch here, so I'm just going to use the spoon. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off with this strawberry milk mix. Now, strawberry milk mix is kind of transparent, so it's not exactly blood-like, so you can't start off with the food coloring. Instead, we're going to start off with the baking powder. Now, baking powder, it's going to thicken the consistency of the blood. In other words, it's going to make it less transparent. That way, when we're using this fake blood on different materials, it's not going to be entirely see-through. For this batch, we're going to do 1 or 2 teaspoonfuls. And then we're going to mix it up. Now, if you've seen my other how to make fake blood tutorials on my other YouTube channel, Nexus 9, then you're going to know that I used cocoa baking powder. Because of that, I was mixing in the red first, but because the strawberry syrup here is going to be already red, I'm going to start off with blue. And once we get our blue mixed in, now I'm going to start with the red. Now guys, we're not going to be stingy on the red. We're going to probably use this entire vial before all is said and done, just for this little tiny batch. So please keep in mind that if you are making larger batches, you're going to need a lot more red food coloring. And once we get all that red in, and yes, we did use the whole vial, we're going to go ahead and mix it all up and get this result. Now, baking powder is a bit chunky, guys, and it tends to fizz, so you're going to have to really stir this up really good. But at the end of the day, if it looks realistic, then mission accomplished. Let's go take a look. Now guys, as you can see, this is not a pure red. This is a dark maroon red, which is the color of arterial blood. So this is what you're trying to get. This, if you want the Hollywood gore effect, this is what you're trying to get. Take a look at the drip effect, look how it looks on the skin. Guys, this is what you're going for. So this is method number 1. I am now going to take you over to method number 2 and I'm going to show you the differences there. Now version 2 of this recipe is going to use red food coloring, blue food coloring, but instead of using strawberry milk mix, we're going to be using maple syrup. And once we get that syrup into the bowl, we're going to go ahead and add baking powder, just like last time. Again, this is to thicken the consistency of the blood. Blood is not transparent. All in all, it should not look like dish soap. We're going to mix that in, and then we're going to go to our red. We're going to mix all this together, and again, it's going to be a little chunky, a little fizzy, but we're going to add in our blue, mix, and we're going to mix it in real well, guys. Now, as you probably noticed, I am using a larger vial of red It's because this particular batch, because the strawberry milk mix was already sort of a reddish color, so we didn't need quite as much red to begin with. This time maple syrup is more of a tan, brown, light color, so we needed a little extra red to get that same Gore factor. All in all, this should only take a couple minutes to mix together. And now that it is, let's go take a look and see how this one came out. Now guys, once again, as you can see, the consistency is not transparent. The blood is very dark, kind of a maroon red. Again, that is the color of blood. You can see that the maple syrup version came out a little smoother than the strawberry milk mix. I don't know if it's because it mixes better with the baking powder or not, but again, remember, you can substitute the baking powder with cocoa baking powder, flour, or cornstarch, or coffee creamer, non-dairy powdered coffee creamer. There's a lot of different things you could do. But it does give you the exact Gore factor that you need. The drip effect looks awesome. Look at it on the skin. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Keep tuning in. I got some more reviews coming up. This is the Metal Geek saying, have a great one. Okay guys, just to preface a few things, I'm sure that you guys have a few questions. I'm going to take this minute to answer those questions. One, guys, yes, these two recipes do have the potential of staining clothing. So if you are going to use these recipes, be aware that you probably should not be using brand new clothing that you like. And if it's light clothing, it's probably going to be hard to get out, especially if you don't wash them right off the bat. So once again, use these recipes at your discretion because they will likely stain clothing. Though don't worry about your skin, it doesn't really do that. Even if it leaves a little bit of a red residue, just a quick shower usually takes care of that. Number two, guys, it doesn't really matter what type of syrup that you use. You could use maple syrup, you could use strawberry milk mix, you could use corn syrup. You could pretty much use any type of syrup that you want. It doesn't have to be light, it doesn't have to be dark, it doesn't have to get complicated. Just pick up and use whatever it is that you can get at your local market. If you can't get corn syrup, then get maple syrup. If you can't get maple syrup, well, then get strawberry milk mix. I'm sure if you wanted to, if you really want to, you could even make this out of chocolate milk mix. You just have to vary how you're using the food coloring. All I'm saying, guys, is that all the tutorials that are out there that teach you how to make fake blood are not the end-all or be-all to how to make fake blood, including my own. These are only guidelines showing you how we do it, how I do it. You do it however you want to. It's up to you. You use the ingredients that are available to you, and you just make this how you see fit. Have a little fun. Experiment. Like I said in the video, as long as at the end of the day it looks like realistic, gory, fake Hollywood style blood, then, well, that's all you need, guys. That's all you need. And as I said just a few minutes ago, this is the Metal Geek saying, have a great one, guys. If you have any questions, leave comments below. I'll do my best to answer them for you, okay? Use this recipe for Halloween, movies, whatever. Have a great one.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.